I would like to talk to a few delegates, to a few people who actually made it all the way here to Bologna. Look who they are, why they're here, and what they hope to get out of it. So I have a few people lined up. Please join me. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
What is your name?
My name is Jane. I'm from Denmark.
Jane from Denmark, all the way to Bologna.
Yeah.
And what institution do you work for?
I work for the School of Architecture in Aarhus.
In Aarhus. And why did you decide to come out to this forum?
Well, it happens to be that I am lead partner in a running project right now.
Already in the INTERREG EUROPE program?
Yes, exactly. So of course we are looking for new projects and new opportunities for future cooperations. Yeah.
All right, so you specifically want to go back to Denmark with potential partners, or do you already have an idea?
Hopefully. I have an idea already, yes.
All right.
Also looking for partners in that.
Well,
also.
this is your opportunity.
Yeah,
I mean, can you share already a little bit in what direction your project is?
It's basically in circular economy for territories, using waste to make it more sustainable, to use it as a source of energy, for example.
And what kind of partners are you looking for?
Mostly regions, as I already know, almost half of, or at least half of the partners in the future have to be managing authorities, and I'm not one myself, so I have to look for them. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the forum, and I wish you great networking.
Thank you.
Let's see who else is here. Can we pull another delegate up into the stage? Please enter. Hi, sir. Good morning. How are you? What is your name?
Thanks. I'm Tybalt from Hungary.
From Hungary, all right.
Yes.
And why did you come to Bologna?
Yeah, I'm representing a regional development agency type of organization, and we have had in the past 4 projects in INTERREG 4C in a very different themes.
Okay.
But we were very successful to gather knowledge and to disperse it within our region. We have, I think, catalyzed a lot of local and regional processes through these cooperations. And in these topics like sustainable mobility or smart working centers in rural areas and other themes as well, we want to go on with these cooperations. And we are looking also for new potentials like this.
New projects and new partners.
New projects, yes, new partners and new initiatives all over Europe that we can bring in to our region in order to innovate the local development.
Exactly. And what would you say is the key benefit of this international cooperation in these projects? Why wouldn't you do it with local partners or with yourself?
I think it's so the multitude of the initiatives that are all over Europe and the successful projects that are there. Really, the sentence "not to reinvent the wheel" is very true, I think. And if you can manage your own stakeholders and your own decision makers and also motivate local and regional organizations to get involved in something completely new in the region, then you really did something in terms of the development of that area.
Legacy.
Yes, you did something then, you made something different. And I think that's the added value of this kind of cooperations in real terms.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for sharing and enjoy the forum.
Thanks.
All right, let's see. We have more people lined up. Let's see some faces of the Europe Cooperation. Hello, good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Khadija.
And where are you from?
I'm French, but I live in Spain, and I come from a research institute called ITENE, which is a technological center specialized in packaging, logistics, and transport.
And have you been in the INTERREG program before?
Yeah, I've been working for INTERREG actually before, and so I know the program quite well, and I'm on the other side, so trying to set up projects. So I'm here to meet people and trying to see what we can do in INTERREG Europe in the coming years.
And we have heard a couple of times this morning the mention of let's not reinvent the wheel. Yeah. Could you give us an example of in one of the previous projects where you feel, hey, this is something I was about to do myself and then I found out that somebody else already did it?
I don't have examples. I don't know. It's like if you want to develop a biking system in your city and you think no one did it before. Obviously, some people did. The thing is, you don't know how to do it in your own country or in your own region. So you go to this kind of projects to see how you can do it, and then you bring these practices and this knowledge back home and you do it in your region.
Exactly. Okay. And do you feel, because obviously this sounds all beautiful, especially when we're here in Bologna. Normally, when you go back to your job, we're all very busy. We have a lot of email. How do you feel that this project is on? How high is this on the agenda of a typical partner?
It's top priority, you know, for
Yeah?
us. It's just coming. Funds are available. I think lots of expectations about this program. Lots of people, like we see the success today, 800 people. I think everybody's waiting for the program, for the first call to participate, launch projects, not to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly. So it's plenty a big room of anticipation here, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
in the meantime, we have to sit through. No,
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the forum.
Thank you, bye.
All right. And it looks like we have one final delegate lined up. Let's see who we have here. Good morning. What's your name?
Giovanni, grazie.
Giovanni, where are you from?
From Bologna.
Oh,
from here.
so that's not a big trip for you
No,
today.
just came by bicycle.
All right. Okay. And what brought you out here? What are you hoping to get out of this forum?
Well, of course, meeting other people involved in projects like the one I'm following for my day-to-day job. And
what project is this? What are you involved in?
I'm involved in ICT projects. I'm particularly involved in open source projects. So I see every day those peer-to-peer collaboration between people creating great things, and I like to see the same approach here in collaboration between.
Was that
nation
tweet
and
I saw earlier on? Was that yours? Like I don't see a lot of open source technology on stage.
No, it wasn't mine.
Oh, there is
saw it
someone in
as
the
well.
audience who's tweeting about that. Because
that's
what
a
is the
decent
great opportunity about the open source technology, especially for policymakers?
Well, there's a great possibility to collaborate, to contribute, and to get back from the community the same amount of collaboration so you put in. So I think public administration should really approach in a different way this kind of technology. So I think that there's a great space for new policies towards this kind of collaboration in technology.
Can you just final tip? What does that way look like? What do our viewers need to do differently tomorrow?
Well, the idea is that we buy technologies like we buy any other goods, but open source is a different thing. So you have to face it with different ideas in mind, and you just have to collaborate and to get back from the community the same amount. So you don't use the same schemes in evaluating an open source adoption like if you buy a new software.
Exactly.
So you need to really
because
to
the price
dedicate
could be zero, right? So how are you going to judge that?
Yeah, of course. And so you have to have different evaluation methodology.
And this is something you guys have developed in your projects?
We try to develop, and but it's something still new in our organization and in most organizations, I think. So I think there's space for some project in this area.
Well, if someone is watching this and they're interested in this, they want to know more, where can they find you online?
Oh, well,
you said you were on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle? Shout it out.
Yes, it's at ggrazia. It's you can find me Giovanni Grazia on Twitter.
Okay, and they can reach out to you and start chatting with you about open source in policy.
Great.
All right, good luck. Well, thank you very much and enjoy the forum.
Opportunity.
All right. So I hope this gives you an idea of the kind of people that we see around the forum. There's people from all over Europe, like yourselves. There is people who have been in projects and are here to share their learnings and hope to extend into the next round of funds. And we have people here who are actually looking for new ideas and new partners. So we are doing that very directly in the afternoon. But obviously, I saw a latest statistic I checked. You guys are with at least 550 people right now online. So why not kind of do this as well? Kind of like I did with Giovanni right here. If you are looking for a project, if you are looking for partners, why not tweet it out? Hashtag Europe Cooperates. I've seen about 2-3 tweets about people saying, hey, we're here and we're looking for partners. Maybe specify it a bit. Who specifically are you looking for? Or how could someone actually recognize that they could be an eligible partner for a project you're working on? So fill up that Twitter space, hashtag Europe Cooperates, and let's do some networking as well, right? Because we don't have to be in Bologna to be able to find new people. That's why we have social media. And if you're not on Twitter, as I said before, you can also do this on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Interreg Europe. There you can also, in the post and in the comments, try to start to connect with people, because hey, there's all of us sitting right here, right now, behind our computers anyway. Let's get to work. Now, if you don't want to get to work, you can stay and listen, because my next guest I'm very excited about. It's you might know her name. It's Magda, the capitalization officer, one of the capitalization officers of the the Joint Secretariat. Magda, good morning.
Good morning, Gerrit. Thank you for having me.
Of course, because you can tell us all about the new program, right? And some of the new innovations that will be in there.
Yes, indeed. Actually, innovations and all the new elements and features we have done with one objective, and it is to have to make more effective and more smart and intelligent allocation of the funds. Of course, there are new features, there are improvements, there are evolutions, but there are some things that stay the same. Since 20 years, we have supporting interregional cooperation. This is about capacity building. Yep. It is not investment, it is soft cooperation. And we've been doing this since 20 years, and we are going to continue doing this for the whole Europe, the same geographic area, 28 European member countries, and 2 additional, Norway and Switzerland. But let's, that was a reminder.
Yeah, don't say that so quickly, because
I
see a lot of questions about this. Yes. Who is eligible, who can participate? So indeed, it's the European countries and Norway and Switzerland. It's good to mention that.
Exactly. And there are some improvements in terms of partnership. This is a new feature, actually. We have been doing that sporadically before, but now it's becoming systematically. Now, can you make innovation without the SMEs, without the clusters?
That's a question I hear a lot around here.
Yes. Yeah. So up to now we have been just eligible partners in public bodies or public equivalent bodies governed by public law, as we call them. But now we allow the private non-profit organizations to be part of an indirect project. So this is quite an innovative thing, because we involve the end users. So we are more realistic, if you want. And there is another element in the partnership, the stakeholder groups. Again, these have been working with local groups under the Interreg 4C, but in Interreg Europe, we make this systematic. We have them in the partnership, and we have them at the beginning of the application form. So that's another innovation in the partnership, the stakeholder groups that form the bodies, the relevant bodies that are responsible for changing the policies on the ground.
Exactly.
Let's go on.
So there's 2 levels here. It's good to understand. So we have the partners in the project who actually are the applicants, right?
Exactly.
And then we have the stakeholder groups who actually be working in the
they are part of the interregional cooperation. So each region that is coming to our program will have to identify who are the local people relevant for changing the policy that they want to tackle. Exactly. So these people, let's say the clusters, the SMEs, the enterprises, the agencies, the associations, should be part of the stakeholder groups. And they will be, let's say, invited in all the interregional cooperation events. Exactly. So they're part of the learning, if you like.
But I understand, I already, once I am going to apply in April 2015, I already have to have my stakeholder group ready?
This is a little bit of a dynamic approach. We have already, because if you're serious, you come to the program, you want to change a specific policy. So you know already who are the people that you want to involve.
You should know that, otherwise it's
exactly.
not
So you list them, but of course it's a dynamic process, a project. So
people can drop off, and people can enter.
So you have to make sure that you have the relevant people on board.
Exactly.
Maybe something else that I think the European Commission mentioned, and we draw the attention of having more result-oriented approach. And this comes into practice in the new program with, let's say, a different approach on the projects. We have 2 phases now. One phase is interregional cooperation as we know it, exchange of experience, learning among the different regions, that ends up obligatory to 1 action plan per region, which means that at the end of 2-3 years that you exchange, you have to translate this learning into an action plan. And then there is a second phase where we want to know what happens with this action plan.
So that's where the focus on the results comes.
Exactly. And there is where obligatory, all the projects will have to have another 2 years where they stay together and they monitor how these action plans put in practice. They have structural funds that are funding and are implemented. So again, another feature. And maybe you have this about the focus on the structural funds. Michel Lamblon, our director, put, let's say, a lot of attention on that our target group now is the public administrations, are the managing authorities, and the intermediate bodies are directly responsible for planning and implementing policies. So, in the future, we are 350 million that we want to make an impact on 350 billion, which is the structural funds.
Nice.
Very,
I like ambitions, I like dreams. Yes.
And I keep the most important and the most exciting and the most innovative for the last, which is the new feature, is the policy learning platforms. You heard again
the platforms,
the
right?
platforms.
Yes.
Platforms is the new black.
The new black. It's all going to be platforms,
Yes.
platforms,
Yes,
platforms.
right. But there is a difference. You might have heard already a lot of platforms pumping up in different topics. But there is a unique feature about the INTERREG Europe platforms. They are the only ones that will support local and regional governments in planning and implementing the structural funds. So this is quite unique. What we want to do with these platforms is to have a better and a faster knowledge and experience sharing. So a continuous policy learning among our regions. And let's say, I give an example. Let's say...
Because a platform is a very broad word,
yes.
right? What is a platform?
Yes, indeed. This
what
is
does
a very
it look
good
like?
question. What is the definition of the platforms? Because would it be just another web page? No.
Could be. No?
Because
Oh.
there is, of course, the online, which is important, because there you have your database. You have your good practices, the results of the projects. You have a database of practitioners. So let's say I'm interested in renewing my urban mobility policies, and I want to know what the INTERREG Europe has done. So I have an interface where I can look up for people that have done that elsewhere without being part of a project.
Exactly.
Looking at the results, easily accessible and fast through a database, and then I can contact the owners of the database. So I want to know more details. I have also a contact list. But the most important thing is not just the interface.
Yeah.
It is the human resources that we put behind it. And this is not technical assistance, it's ERDF funds. It's European Regional Development Fund. Behind this online tool where you have all the information, you have human resources. You
Yes.
have experts
Yes.
that are thematically covering all the investment priorities of the new program, and they are the ones that will guide you through the knowledge. Because let's say sometimes
exactly.
you come, you know, you don't even know what's your question. So you need someone, you need an interlocutor. So with one click, you have an access to a person.
Wow.
And this is where it's the knowledge management. We change from the linear approach. I'm an expert, I'm reading your results, I'm writing a report, and I give it to you. Now
Yeah.
we go on knowledge management.
And
we
it's more
share,
interactive.
we reuse. It's
Excellent.
interactive.
Well, perfect.
Exactly.
Well, as you can hear, time is up. We're going back to stage. Magda,
Last
thank you very
message.
much. Very last message, very
Get
quickly.
inspiration from INTERREG 4C Capitalization Library. You have already some teasers about the knowledge that we have capitalized since the last 7 years. So thank you very much.
Super. And hey, if you have any more questions for Magna or specifically about the stuff that you talked about, hashtag Europe Cooperates, Facebook/INTERREG Europe. I mean, Magna is up here as well, so she can also answer your questions online.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Magna.
Bye-bye.
Well, we heard the gong. I'm going to turn around. Let's go back to stage.
Welcome back, everybody.